During the Xbox preview, we had saw I think it was like a little trailer of Avowed. It had kind of looked like a game that I wasn't gonna be interested in. But more footage coming out about the game, more information about the game. So we're gonna check these out and see what we think. Is it gonna be a cop or whatever? Is we gonna get it, man? Cause I do want to play more games than I did this year. So I'm trying to see which games that are going to be really good for the audience, and also just really testing the waters. We're going to check out 2 videos. We're going to check out IGN final preview of Avowed and 10 things you should know before playing Avowed, and it's for Game Radar. So let's go ahead and check this out.
Fellow adventurers, there's been plenty of great RPGs to play over the last couple of years, but we've been keen to play another from Obsidian ever since they announced Avowed as an Xbox release following being bought by Microsoft in 2018. Set within Eora, the Pillars of Eternity world, this gives us a much more immersive first-person look into the colourful universe. As Obsidian brought us the likes of Fallout New Vegas and The Outer Worlds, among others, we've been desperate to see more, which means we jumped at the chance to go hands-on with a brand new slice of the game, picking up...
Okay. So they made Fallout Las Vegas. Well, okay. I wasn't too familiar with Obsidian though, because I don't think let me see. I don't think that I played none of their games. Okay, they got Fallout New Vegas, The Outer Worlds, Grounded. Yeah, those 2 is like. Oh, never mind. I played South Park: The Stick of Truth. Okay, I played that. Yeah, that's the only thing. That's the only thing I put on that list. Okay, I'm saying it. My bad. My bad. You quite established, but I see that why y'all say this is evolution, because the Outer Worlds, maybe Grounded was just a survival game like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. They always get, every time I see Grounded, I think about that movie. All right, let's go ahead and get back to this video.
Up from the very beginning. Here's what you need to know, and why we're loving what we've played so far. Not everyone is always in the mood for stacks of numbers. While Avowed certainly has those to offer for the digit-delighted stat lovers out there, the first-person combat is fun to simply get stuck into, allowing you to really embrace some action-first hacking and slashing if you so desire. Combat has a lovely weightiness about it, and whether you're pinging a bow, taking a hit with your shield, or about to fling out elemental spells, it's all intuitive and easy to understand. Just sticking with the pointy end till they're dead, and that charge attack is so satisfying to pull off. When you see fantasy swords and sorcery, it's easy to imagine you'll be trundling around an open world in a slight jog as you bosh baddies on the noggin. But Avowed's open areas are detailed spaces to explore thanks to some parkour-like first-person clambering. It's not quite Dying Light 2, but you're nevertheless nimbler than you might expect, and some quiet areas will reward some clever jumping with great prizes. But even on the standard path, you may come across broken bridges or outcrops that can get you to your destination. Just look where you're going, lest you take a fall. No fantasy world is complete without a web of proper nouns to become properly entangled in. After all, learning the language of a new world is all part of the immersion, and how fans are made. But if Avowed is your first foray into the Pillars universe, then worry not, as you always have the option within dialogue to pull up an explanation of any lore terms you've encountered. While both Metaphor ReFantasio and Final Fantasy XVI have attempted this in their own way, Avowed takes a simple but powerful approach. Similar to narrative-heavy visual novels, it opens up a fresh box that has terms mentioned throughout the entire chat right there ready to select and browse without breaking the flow of conversation. Avowed's UI is far from over-designed, though it is still quite pretty. Most importantly though, it's clear. I love how it's clear from both your health bar and an enemy's when they're blocking, as it adds a purple shield overlay, making it obvious when you're safe and when to go for a guard break. And I love the clear waypointing that makes it obvious what's optional and what's going to progress your main path forward. But most importantly, I love how natural it feels on a controller, making it a crunchy RPG that feels tailor-made for Xbox, from clear D-pad shortcuts to using the triggers in combat.
I should have stopped. I need to stop. You know what? You know what? Wait a minute. Is this an Xbox exclusive? Just thought about that. Okay. Another game.
To aligning and managing gear in the inventory, and even how you sprint like in Call of Duty. It all feels wonderfully natural. While you'll be speccing your envoy hero to favour certain stats and skills from certain classes, Avowed isn't about locking you into one style of play. With a touch of a button mid-combat, you can dynamically switch your loadout, altering both your main hand and offhand in the flow of combat. Yes, like Bayonetta. This means you go from shield and little stabby knife to dual wielding a pistol and a spellbook in an instant, and always have a load of options in your battle-ready fingertips. Again, Avowed empowers you to find your own combat flow and get it the way you want it, meaning you can mix and match your main hand and offhand dynamic as you see fit. While bows take up both slots, a mage tome for instance can only be equipped to your offhand, which does mean you can forgo a shield and instead use a sword and spells for true sword and sorcery, favouring the very powerful dash button to evade strikes rather than blocking. Not all ranged weapons are two-handed either, meaning you can go shield and mace in one slot and combine a gun and magic for the other. We won't stop mentioning it. You can literally dual wield guns in magic. You have a finite pool of magic power for casting spells, which you can top off with potions and consumables, yet you can also restore it by absorbing the purple drops that come from enemies as you slay them. Which is all to say, you can find a rhythm of spell slinging that means you can stay topped off in the midst of combat without having to micromanage yourself constantly, pushing you to stay on the offensive with magic, while also supplementing it with other ways to finish off foes, so they spill that all-important purple juice. Bonus points if you shatter frozen foes with a bullet. This one goes out to our fellow Elder Scrolls fans who like to make their rangers viable so they can snipe their way out of danger. Not only is the range build in Avowed, at least early on, very viable, but it's joyous to play. Aiming down sights, you can power up shots, hitting weak spots for big damage, but you can also let go of your bow pull early as well to go a bit faster. It's very powerful, as it allows you to get damage in at a distance and seemingly shoot past shields. Be warned, however, there are a lot of ranged enemies as well, so you may end up in a sniper battle. It all becomes a marvelous fantasy-flavoured FPS in its own right. What's an RPG without a party? And what's a party without a camp within which you can trade tragic backstories, chatter about recent events, and simply grow closer? While early on the party hasn't grown to its full potential, we're already enjoying our camp detours as a great way to get more colour on the world and learn more about our allies. Kai, a merman-like coastal Almaua, voiced by Brandon Keener, aka Garrus from Mass Effect, is our first proper pal, and a fantastic introduction to the world we find ourselves in, as we cut about Dawnshore. No, you're obsessed. While we can't show you the character creator yet, we can talk about it, and there's plenty of really interesting elements you can adjust even in the early build we played. As a godlike, you've been uniquely touched by divinity even before birth, which means you can give yourself some funky fungal features. And yes, some people will be very rude about it in conversation. You look great though, don't listen to them. Even beyond appearances, in the opening hours there's quite a bit of opportunities to use your stats to unlock new options in dialogue, making these branches feel quite weavy and providing ample room to roleplay. And that's our list of 10 things you need to know about Avowed before it releases February 18, 2025 on PC and Xbox Series X and S. So, will you be playing this one? Is there anything else you'd like to know? Let us know in the comments and stick with Games Raid.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Now, with like from that one, I mean, the character creation don't need to be deep because it's first person. The only time you're going to see the character is in cutscenes. So if they don't have that much focus on the character customization, put more effort in gameplay, bro. Just put more effort in gameplay. You're already first person. Just put more effort in gameplay. The game look okay, man, but Xbox, I might have to get the Xbox Game Pass. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see what IGN got to say after this ad, of course. I bet.
Even after the positive preview for Avowed this summer, I found myself wondering if it was a fluke. Maybe it was just a fun mission. Maybe Obsidian won't be able to keep my interest as more quests are discovered. Maybe it was just a nice day. Nope! Avowed is just a lot of fun. Coming fresh off of trying out Dragon Age the Veilguard, I was so happy when I discovered just how evil I could be to people I met along the way right from the start of Avowed. Something Veilguard just didn't fulfill.
I am ready. Do it.
You love the Dragon Age.
From the start, I had one NPC dropping F-bombs because I was going to leave her in prison. A short while later, a duo would try to intimidate me on a bridge only to meet a swift demise. I wasn't in the mood for their nonsense, I just wanted to be evil, and while I could have handled it the nice way, sometimes being evil is just more fun.
Another win. But who's
That's
counting?
how you sell a game. Do the F-bombs and all that. See, that would have been different between the two videos. The other video just... But this right here, well, it is a final preview, so... But that is the best.
It's not just the fact that you have more nuance with every conversation, it's empowering to craft the kind of hero or villain you want to be. Sure, Obsidian has a story to tell, but I feel more in control when deciding how these scenarios play out. The character customization options will allow you to craft the face of the character you'll build, and while you don't see it all that often, you can make someone perfectly lovely, or someone that looks like they came straight out of that creepy claymation episode of Adventures of Mark Twain.
Try to survive.
Okay.
Same thing I do every day.
Even the vendors have unique banter. I had the chance to meet the ex-husband of another nearby vendor, and the two would talk badly about each other because of their failed marriage. Another
Really?
vendor had a past relationship with my companion Kai and warned him not to cross her again. These little beats do a lot to make the world feel like it has a history, and you'll
Yeah.
uncover more of that as you
Okay.
adventure. I love these dangling threads that are teased throughout the playthrough. Hopefully, I get to tug on some of them and see how deep each story goes.
Kai, I told you not to show your face around here again.
On the combat front, I also immediately noticed improvements, especially in the sound department. Obsidian clearly spent a lot of time working on the audio and combat flow, and it's immediately noticeable. The sound spikes are so satisfying to hear when you've stunned an opponent and can execute a flurry of blows or bullets, or when using stealth and you're able to execute your prey with an ethereal blade. And one addition we got to see for the first time was the ability to use third-person or first-person combat. Both feel great, and while I personally opted for the first-person perspective most of the time, third-person is looking and feeling good too. The only slight gripe I have is that the movement can have a bit of that floaty Obsidian style to it in third-person, but that doesn't affect combat all that much.
Who's there?
Watch out, bro. Look, I'm glad we didn't stop at that video. I'm glad we went to IGN and checked this video out. This man answered all the questions that I had from the first video. IGN is up and down, guys. We all know that. But sometimes they right. Got to give them their credit.
And while I'm discussing minor complaints, knowing full well that Obsidian still has months of polish time left, I did feel that your companion Kai was a bit too handholdy with his tips at times. There were a few moments when I was simply scavenging for loot and found him whispering tips about a puzzle in my ear.
I think there's something on the upper floor. We might be able to reach it from outside.
I know Obsidian is trying to help out new players, but it takes away from that feeling of accomplishment you get when solving the mystery for yourself. Kai, I know how to solve the puzzle, okay? Like, give me a second.
You got everything you...
No, they can't keep doing what you're doing, my boy. No. I be having trouble with the RPGs, bro. That's a good feature, man. Come on now.
Need to fix up your armor. Let's head to camp.
But to get back to the positives, loot was also a highlight, even early on. Upgrading from a bow and arrow to an arquebus felt awesome. And even though I probably said arquebus wrong, the trade-off with the rifle is that it has a long reload time, but once you've upgraded your abilities with it, you'll unlock faster reloads and more damage. And the ragdoll physics add to the fun factor as well. Yet again though, my time with Avowed felt all too short. And make no mistake, there was plenty to explore in this small area. I found a spider cave where I took on a spider boss. I found the entire hour-long demo that we had the first time we played Avowed, and a plethora of small stories within the world, like this one guy who happened to be missing a ring and trying to find it. And I left wishing that Obsidian had given us more time to play, but that's a good sign. And so far, everything seems to be coming together in what I can best describe as a really fun RPG. But more importantly, it feels like an RPG where I'm in control of my own destiny, and while the decisions I'm making will have consequences, I love knowing that I get to be the one directing the orchestra, so to speak.
We'd be most appreciative, of course.
In both of my hands-on sessions with Avowed, I've only been able to see the Dawnshore section of the map and not much more. I do hope there's plenty of content here, but I'd really like to see more given how close the February release date is now. When I asked Obsidian about this, they promised several biomes would be explorable, and that will no doubt add a lot to the visual diversity of the world. I just wish we could get a peek at it beyond the footage from the very first gameplay reveal from many months ago. No spoilers on the story here, but the one narrative hook that is set up early on is a mission which takes you to the voice. This voice leads you through the map and it's earned nothing good. You get just enough to leave you wanting more. And Avowed certainly accomplishes just that. I want to power up my companion Kai to see what other attacks he can do. I want to discover the coveted weapons the design team told us about during the pre-hands-on presentation. I want to kill more people and betray my friends. And Avowed is empowering me to do exactly that. Maybe I'll let the virgin live this time.
It's all right.
Okay, that boy was in the that boy must have did that in the house. I want to tell him to cut that out. Okay, man. So honestly, Avowed don't look too bad, bro. See, from that first one to this one, I was at like a 5 when I look at the first one. Then once I got the IGN and he hit me hard at the beginning, I got to like a 7.5. I might try it. I might give it a try, bro. I might give it a try. But I don't know. See, I lost my train of thought, bro. So I was gonna say, yeah, having an opportunity to switch from first person to third person is a really good feature. And also with Kai sitting there helping you out with these puzzles, bro, keep that in the game, because when I get lost, I just cut it off, bro. Like, I cut that game off if I get lost, man. But this is Avowed. Let me know how y'all guys feel. If y'all gonna cop this, if y'all gonna play this, do this look like something that y'all gonna have interest in. And then also, it is getting to a point where I kind of do want to know like the roadmap, or how long the game gonna be before like actually buying it. Maybe I don't know where it's starting to change. Like, these games feel like an investment, bro. These games are 70 plus, so it getting to the point where sooner or later it gonna be $100, bro. Sooner or later these games gonna be $100. So if they get like 100,000 sales, like they almost making their money back on the, like, sooner or later it's gonna get to a point where the games be $100. So if y'all trying to bring up the price, y'all need to let us know what I'm buying, bro. I don't want you to give me something like, hey, this is what this is, and then y'all gonna cut off the servers. Like, nah. But yeah, let me know how y'all guys feel about Avowed down below and what y'all rating this, man. And I'll see y'all guys in the next one.